Mike Tenera.
Madison Jenkins, thank you so much for meeting with me today.
No problem. Nice to meet you.
Here is a business card for you. I really appreciate you having me.
Please have a seat.
You have a beautiful facility here. How long have you been with the company?
So I've been with the company for about 23 years. Started as a local territory and then just moved on from there. So now I'm like the district manager for sales for this region. Company's been around for many, many years. We've gone into starting to expand the territory, which is why we have some interest in your product. Thanks for all the email you sent with the information.
Oh my gosh, definitely. I really appreciate the back and forth that we've had so far. So I am Madison Jenkins though, and I know that we have talked a lot, but I just wanted to introduce myself too. I work for Morphe, which is a makeup brand located here in Los Angeles. And we are currently working on a lot of collaborative products, and that's what I'm here to talk with you about today. So our most recent one is the James Charles X Morphe Artistry Palette.
Okay.
And we are trying to expand from some of our smaller headquarters into the larger makeup brands. And we have currently already partnered with Ulta. We're trying to expand that a little bit more, which is why we've come to talk with you guys today. And we are just interested in hearing what concerns you may have or what interest you may have in getting our latest collaborative eyeshadow palette onto your shelves.
So we definitely have some interest in moving our brand forward. Obviously, additional products will help move that. However, with COVID-19 right now, we have some concerns because obviously we're not getting as much foot traffic.
Absolutely.
Online sales and all that's all good so far, but really don't know how that goes at this point. So we have some interest, and we're looking to move our brand forward, and perhaps we can do that with yours. I like what you sent me so far.
Thank you. Yes. So because we do have a good solid foundation, we've been around since 2008. We have faced some hardships in the market. We had the housing crash right as we were starting to blossom into the market. And so we are very familiar with hardships in terms of foot traffic and in terms of marketing struggles and in terms of financial struggles for not only our consumers, but the business itself. So we pride ourselves on affordability, but also quality. And so we think that we would be really a good partner for you guys in terms of that, because I know that you guys maybe don't always have the most affordable products, which is good for certain consumers, the ones who are looking for Too Faced and Stila and products like that. But we think that the Morphe products being on your shelves could really open up a new market, especially in these times of financial struggles.
Okay, so we currently have an issue with warehousing space. I don't know that we have a shelf space issue, and we also have a warehouse issue. So I'm not sure if you have any ideas how you'd want to deal with that. We would probably be willing to carve out some shelving space within the stores, but the hard space for warehouse, I'm not sure we can do that right now. So what do you propose for that?
Absolutely. When we had originally begun our partnership with Ulta, they felt that way also. But through our time spent with them and our problem solving skills, they have found that we've been very adaptable to those types of situations. I can show you that with one of our newer products. So this is the Morphe X James Charles Artistry Palette. And you can see that it is a little bit larger than the normal palette. So I can understand how shelving space would be a concern of your guys's. But we have recently come out with the James Charles X Morphe Mini Palette, which you can see is exactly half the size of the Artistry Palette. So that would definitely assist with your shelving space because they are identical palettes, exactly the same pots, exactly the same shades in there, just simply the size is half as much. So that would assist with some of the shelving issues, but in terms of warehouse space, that's also a valid concern for sure. Because we are both based here in Los Angeles though, we actually have our own warehouse space. So we would probably just make some kind of a deal with you guys on an as needed basis for the products that you're looking for. And so we would probably look into more of a website based situation to start a partnership there so that we could ship you things from our warehouse so that wouldn't take up any of your guys' space until that became necessary, until the products became such a high demand within your stores that you would need them more readily available than we could get to you guys.
So you would basically ship to our distribution center?
Yes, okay. In theory, yes.
Okay. And what about if, for those deliveries, is that something you guys provide the freight for?
We do provide the freight for that also. We have a good trucking system within the Los Angeles area. Now, if we were to go much farther than that, we would have to kind of strike up a different deal in terms of the transportation for that, just because we don't necessarily have the facilities to go much farther outside of here, because we are still a smaller blossoming company, so that's something we would have to talk about moving forward.
Okay, and how many different pallets are there? I know we have the smaller one. Is it all one, is it one pallet and it's just these are smaller sizes, or are there other products as well?
Correct, yes. So because we are only talking about the Morphe X the James Charles palette today, that just comes in these two sizes with the same colors inside. But our whole, theory behind Morphe is that we create for creators. So this palette's theory and motto is that you can create any look imaginable within just the colors that this palette holds. So we have the crazy colors that James Charles uses in his YouTube videos. We also have some of the more neutral colors for a consumer who's looking for a more business professional look. And that is why we think it's so versatile and such a value that could be brought to your company, is because you don't need to have a million Morphe palettes just to start off. That your company could start by selling this and they wouldn't have to go to other competitors where there are tons of other options that are overwhelming and stuff. This gives them a more straightforward look at so many different options in just one palette.
Okay, so if we were interested, if we were going to do it on a web-based start, we could offer both sizes, see which one sells, and then decide where we take it to the store from there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And especially because of the COVID-19 crisis that's going on right now, I do think that what our research has been showing is that the larger palette has been selling more online, because the smaller palette is targeted for traveling. It comes with a mirror built in inside of the palette. That's something that people are looking forward to bring onto airplanes, and because it fits in more travel-sized luggage. And obviously that's not really accessible right now, which is fine because it's keeping everybody safe, but I think that the larger palette is what is drawing people's attention online right now, because that's what they're playing with at home in theory.
Okay, so as far as value goes, as far as the cost structure, is the smaller one half the price of the bigger one?
It's close. So the larger palette is 39 colors for $39.
Okay.
And that is our most affordable palette that we have in terms of the size and the price and the ratio that those have. And the smaller palette retails for $21.99. So it is close to half, but just a little bit over.
Okay, so I'm assuming those were both retail prices, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm assuming that we would, as the seller, we would be at about a 50% margin for a cost structure?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, and that is something that we could look at in a business model as we move forward. If we wanted to create like a structured sales plan that I could, produce for you and some of your other team members, if you were looking to consult with a larger team before wanting to, just make the deal here today. I know this is only our first meeting, although we've had a lot of emailing and contact before this.
Okay, so what I would suggest in the way that would be the most helpful for both of us is for you to put that plan together on how you see to market it. I will also do one. I will get the national sales manager to be able to meet with us for the next time. I'm pretty much on board. I like it. We'll have to see where it goes from there, but the next step would be bringing the national sales manager in. We will have some pre-meetings with other folks within the organization, and we would probably be ready to move forward if everybody saw what they liked.
Wonderful, that's great news. Thank you. I'm glad that we were able to create such a good bond here today, and that we were able to have such a great meeting, because I know that emailing you from Chicago, where I'm based, is hard now that we're all the way here in Los Angeles, but whatever works for you guys for the follow-up meeting is great with me. I'm thankful that you guys are on board. This meeting was great today, so thank you so much.
No problem. Do you have any other questions for me?
You know what? I do just have one follow-up question for you. I was curious about if you guys had any concerns regarding the competition within your market right now, because like I said before, we create for the creators. We don't create necessarily for just the profit that some other brands do. And I didn't know if your current suppliers were giving you any pressure like that, if there was anything competition wise between Ulta and other brands that was a concern?
So far as branding for us, we believe we're at the head of that spectrum. So, you know, we like to figure that we're driving the market that way. As far as what somebody else may or may not have, you know, usually pricing is similar, and it's usually the ancillary products that are also within the store is what brings someone in. They may come for one thing, but, you know, they potentially leave with hopefully 12 others. So
Exactly.
that's kind of where we go. So as long as, you know, our pricing structure remains in a spot where, you know, we're okay and it's something you guys can live with. You're already offering us freight. You're already offering us free warehouse storage in your facility, and you'll deliver based on our sales volume. So I don't really have a problem there.
All right, wonderful. I am so glad. I really think this product could be a great addition to both your company and to us as a business. And I just really am looking forward to moving forward with you guys.
Okay, no problem. I'll get everybody else that needs to be involved at this point. I'll get them involved, and we'll set up a time for our next meeting.
Perfect. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
great. No problem. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
You as well.